Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for connecting. The new year is on its way. This is a spiraling galaxy in the constellation of Virgo. Is it not beautiful? Imagine the size. To understand the size of our galaxy, this is a galaxy that's a lot bigger than ours. Do you think it's far? It would have to be for us to be able to see its entire size of the galaxy, its tail end of a spiraling galaxy. Isn't it amazing? In the constellation of Virgo, last year, 2016, NASA was talking about very spectacular events. You can look up for yourselves. There were many events in the constellation of Virgo of systems, either nebulae, stars, or planets that were interacting with each other. They were talking about asteroid invasions. You know, asteroids come in groups at times, and they will plow through a galaxy or plow into or by a star or close into its atmosphere. And what will happen, it will leave these stars with scars that we can see. This is incredible, guys. This is science. And stars have marks on them or interact differently or leave off on strange unknown courses and trajectories because of certain celestial events that happened that we're not familiar with. Now, here's the thing. I was going to mention this in a video one day, but even WSO's host Steve Olson was talking about it. Steve, when you mentioned about trying to locate asteroids leaving in the constellations, I hear you, man. I hear you mention this often on the videos. And yeah, look at this. This is in Lyra. It's a binary star system, I believe, and the light that is radiating, there's many layers that you can see here. Layers of light, layers of gases, layers of dust. This is absolutely amazing. But you can see the stellar objects or the celestial objects that are all around these stars. Now, not all of these are planetary nebulae or galaxies or stars or planets. Some, and probably many of these, are asteroids. We are going to see, drumroll, I'm so happy, in the constellation of Lyra. I saw a comet go by here. Whether it was a comet or an asteroid, it had a tail. And the tail was an uneven plume of white smog that was behind this rectangular-ish object that we're going to go see a bit later. And the proof is there. I got the same picture here in lower atmosphere. And 3 weeks, almost a month later, see it going by in the constellation of Lyra, right by a nebula or right towards a nebulae, a planetary nebulae, the same shape and form, turning and spiraling with its same gases. Incredible. This channel, for the ones just arriving here, these are all my photos. These are photos of stars in the constellation that I learned to go and get. I learned where these objects were. And the thing is, you can always go back and get them. They're the same, generally the same area in the constellation, but they turn around inside the constellation, and the constellations turn in the sky depending on the seasons. So they can be high in the sky, the constellations. At times they can be low. Like Lyra is low in the northern hemisphere right now, and it's where Oumuamua, I love saying that, the asteroid, the interstellar asteroid, first Earth interstellar asteroid visitor, they say, especially of that size, is going by. It's elongated. It's a very long column-like, very odd shape, as for an asteroid, of course. And the interesting part is that the constellation of Lyra is lower in the sky. So if you see a nebulae that's shooting out meteors and it's coming high up in the sky, well, it's probably going to go by high in our atmosphere. If we see the lower constellations, and I'm so happy that I'm understanding this now, like Lyra, if there is any meteor shower, like the Lyrids showers that they have in Lyra, I don't know if it's April 22nd, I'm not sure of the date, but when they have those showers, if the constellation is low in the sky, we're going to get in our lower atmosphere possibly asteroids. I believe possibly the constellations in the lower northern hemisphere are affecting Earth some way, either by the asteroids that are coming to Earth. It could be what is causing the shift in the moon or in the Earth, either in our the planet or the moon's axes. This is deep, guys. Hard to understand, but it's starting to make perfect sense for me. Asteroids, we don't hear tell about it, but it's true. And asteroids can follow in groups and can invade atmospheres, the atmospheres of certain planets or stars. And like I say, planets and stars are left with scars after these events happen. And this is what the space stations, NASA, and everything space related, both in defense and protection, they're trying to see this right now, what's going on. So either the big storm has just gone by, or that was the beginning of the eye of the storm. Who knows? Here's a little something for the real open-minded people. I'm just going to slip this one in. Here's a part of the moon, the outer limits, the real outer limits that nobody knows exists. The moon continues outwards in an area where it's always dark that we just don't see. And this is it. For those of you just arriving to this channel, this is the red celestial object. Um, I don't know what to say. It was over the moon in Aldebaran the night Aldebaran kissed the moon. But now I'm showing the surface much clearer. Okay, have you heard of HD, right? Well, there's Super HD and there's Ultra High HD, and this is exactly what I'm doing. There's no jokes here. There's no trickery. It's high dynamic range, high definition in the photo. I'm trying to get the highest quality photo ever. Some of these photos are up to, yes, 7 to 8 gigs for one photo. Look at the layers on the surface of it now. Look how the UHD is so beautiful as compared to the HD and the quality on upload on YouTube. And now I'm looking at it superbly here at home, just incredible. Hoping that YouTube quality is better, but it is, because I've seen it on another computer now, and I know that the uploads will be of better quality if I maintain this UHD. Look at the surface. Isn't that incredible? Cooling off star, cataclysmic event, something smashed into something. These objects were spiraling towards, in and around Earth during the months of end of July, especially August. September, they said that there's asteroids. The comet Epsilon, I think, went by the sun. All these objects were coming around, but there was also this debris of asteroid for some reason. So whether this is a massive gas plume or a part of a celestial object that either exploded or hit into each other, who knows? But it's beautiful, and it's not something I've ever seen afterwards in the sky, especially not this size. Now I'm going to show you an asteroid. Here it is, or comet. It's right there going towards a nebulae. And we say towards. Of course, it could be millions of light years away from the nebulae, but you see it, that black spot underneath the blue, bigger black and blue green spot on top. Underneath is a black object. Well, it's not black, but we're seeing it black here. And that's what we're going to see in detail. And this object, I got so close up going in by the lower atmosphere of Earth. This has just gone by our Earth, my friends. And this object, we're going to see it in beautiful detail. But before that, someone asked me, how hard can it be to follow an object going back into the constellation? Well, look around, my friend. These objects, every time you take a photo, every 15 minutes, these objects will entirely move. When I see an asteroid close to Earth, I gather all the details of this object, either comet or asteroid, to know what the tail looked like, what the angle looked like, and as it's going further out and as it's turned in different angles, it will look different further out. It's not easy, I assure you, not easy to follow. But big like this one, it is easy. So I'm getting there. I'm getting to understand. So this beautiful object was close to Earth, and it went out. And yeah, Virgo constellation, you check the height it was in the hemisphere, and it will be the height that in general that it will fly by Earth. Pretty incredible. Just to show you how much I didn't know about space, or a lot of us don't. You know, it's so beautiful. There's so many secrets. What am I doing here is I'm looking at the objects inside of these galaxies, nebulae. We're in the constellation of Virgo. These are real photos that I took myself, you know. And I don't think it would be any different looking at mine or looking at any other photos, unless they were tampered, of course. But I don't know. It's not hard to tamper a photo to blotch out something. You just add a black spot where any area you don't want anyone to see, and it would be hard to tell. You know, these objects are moving around all the time, guys. The constellations are moving around all the time, but look at what we're capable of seeing. Look at the electrical storms out there in these constellations. We're seeing spheres and celestial objects that are in and around these galaxies. They're not small, they're humongous. You see again the comet that was underneath, or the asteroid that I saw flying by Earth. First time I was ever able to see one deep in the constellation. Steve Olson was asking me yesterday if I saw anything in Orion, etc. Yes, I have. And yeah, there's movement and there's a lot of billowing lights for nothing, but I'll be checking that. I don't even have any color in my editor anymore. Sorry, Bill. Yeah, a couple of setbacks, but no. Overall, guys, I mean, you can't cry over spilt milk. The 5,000 files lost. I'll make more, and I'll make them better. But it's just the work, you know, set me back a bit. But can't really look at it as a setback. All you people that are here supporting me, I look at that as um, getting ahead. And together, we're going to see so many wonderful things. Speaking of wonderful things, Steve Olson is also showing wonderful things up in the sky. Check out his channel. He's going crazy this week.